Welcome to United Polaris 777-300ER. We're going to take the flight from London to Houston, Texas. I would say that this is the best plane to experience United Polaris. It's in a 1-to-1 configuration, and we're going to walk you through the entire experience from dropping off a car at 6th and Terminal 5, taking the train over to the Queens Terminal where you're going to go through the Polaris Lounge and onto the plane. We're going to highlight all the different features, where you should sit if you're a couple, if you're a single, what the food is actually like, the entire experience. Without further ado, let's pick it up, migrating over from Terminal 5 to where we will depart in the Queens Terminal. Okay, here we go. Okay, we were headed out London Heathrow to Houston, Texas. United's 777-200 in Polaris business class. We actually redeemed 70,000 Air Canada Aeroplan, about $350. Just dropping the car off here at Terminal 5 at 6th and heading on up. Hopefully that's not too loud. All right, let's go check out the lounge. So it's super easy. You can see we actually just came up that elevator over there, and then you come over to this one here, drop down to the tube, and you get a free ticket. You just go over to 2, 3, or 4. So that's pretty easy. If you're planning on doing this is taking us about 15-20 minutes, including all the tubes, sort of delays and all that. I don't know if you can even hear me, but we're about to Terminal 2 right now. Yeah, we're flipping around here. So we are almost at the terminal. I think we just have to take one more lift up here. We go. I think it's over here. A little bit longer than anticipated. We had to enter a bunch of extra information, so it's now 8:30 and our flight is in an hour and a half, so that might have cut into our lounge time, but I think that we'll still get a decent amount. We'll check it out, but now it's security, so we gotta get all our stuff out because they're very particular about liquids here in the UK. All right, here we go. We're definitely cutting it a bit close. I think our flight board's like 15 minutes. It says we have an 11-minute walk because we're in this big tunnel to go out to our gate. So we're just gonna have a little nip of the lounge and then onto the onto the plane. So hopefully, let's cut to the lounge. We are at the United Club here in the B terminal, oddly named B1 Lounge, even though it's next to B46. How does that work? So if you're expecting a full-fledged Polaris Lounge with dining room, etc., that is not what this is. This is a United Club, albeit a very, very nice United Club. The food offerings to me, very mediocre. This is not some place that I'm going to be looking to eat a big meal, maybe a little snack, a cold, refreshing beverage. The highlight of the lounge to me is this shower. Beautiful shower suite. So if you're connecting or you want to take a big shower before you take off, great. There is an arrivals lounge as well. So if you're coming into London, you could utilize that. It's post-immigration. But this is if you're connecting or like me, you're actually departing out of London. There's all sorts of places to work in this lounge. But just remember, this is a United Club. There is no dining room. There's no elevated dining experience, etc., etc. With that said, let's hop on over. I'm going to compare the 767 to the 777 so you get an idea of what to expect because both planes are flying and both feature United Polaris. So let's compare this. Here's the 767-300. As you can see, the business class is in a 1-1-1 configuration. You're going to see a lot of these planes flying out of DC, New York, or Newark, and also Chicago. I would avoid these 767s as much as possible because they do not offer the best Polaris product. And instead, like we are flying today, and I would focus on finding the
777-200s or the 777-300ERs. Until we see the new suites roll out, these are the best Polaris seats. They're in a 1-2-1 configuration. They're split into 2 different cabins. I think that the odd rows are the best for couples that are wanting to sit together, and the evens on the window is the best for singles. Let's take a look at both. Put a sweatshirt on. I hate it when it's really hot. I've been on planes where I'm like literally sweating for the entire flights. This was fantastic. Now, United Polaris is a very strong business class product. Their best aspect is the bedding, which we'll get to later. We're not going to focus on that right now. But the bedding on United Polaris, that's why you want to fly United Polaris. The seats are pretty comfortable too. Now we're gonna go through the entire thing. Here's a good look at the IFE. It's about the size of my hand, pretty standard. Nothing too overly great about this. Good selection of movies. Now, one big thing that I have to kind of like hit them on, my seat was dirty. Now, I have flown United Polaris a bunch of times, and this is the first time that I've just been like, yuck. It was pretty disgusting. Lots of stuff everywhere. I encountered this on Egypt Air as well. And it just makes you think, are they maintaining that plane? Let's get into the food. Now, I wasn't expecting much. Was I surprised? Yes. I always go with pasta. Sometimes I'll go with the chicken. Sometimes I'll go with the shrimp, though I've had food poisoning. I think I've mentioned this before by having shrimp on a plane. This time I went with pasta. I went with a salad, and both was fresh. It tasted very, very, good for plane food. You can't really go wrong. You can't like completely mess up a pasta dish, at least I don't think, unless it's like really super hard to like crack a tooth or something. Whoa. After dinner, they came around with the wine and cheese and fruit cart, as well as, you gotta go for it, the hot fudge sundae. I always say to myself, I'm not gonna have the hot fudge, and then I do. I just get it anyways. The bathroom, the foreign carriers have the really nice bathrooms. I don't think I've been on a single, American-based carrier that has an awesome bathroom, and this is just a standard bathroom that you'd see on any kind of narrow-bodied plane. Let's have a look at the bed. I mentioned it. So let's get into it. I mean, look at this. Saks Fifth Avenue bedding. Not only do you have something that goes on the bottom, you have another blanket that goes on the top. You get not one, but 2 pillows. Everything is super cushy. And I would say out of the big 3, United, Delta, and American, they have the best beds. Now, this is one of the reasons that I don't like these even rows specifically in the middle, is because you're hanging right on the aisle. So like I got bumped a couple of times when people walk by. If you're in the odd rows in the middle, then you don't have to deal with that problem. Again, I'm highlighting the pillows. You get one that's almost like a Tempur-Pedic style, and the other one that's just like a big cushy pillow. You're very close to your devices. See how I like to do that? One, I put a fan app on so that I can sleep, even though I wasn't supposed to sleep because this is a day flight. But as I was mentioning, look how close you are to the aisle. You're just completely exposed versus if you're in the even rows, as I highlighted earlier, for the single seats, that's much, much better. As soon as I woke up, did we have another dining option? Absolutely we did, and it was very good as well. Surprisingly, I didn't have high expectations. Say hello, my name is Satoshi Nakamoto. If you know what that means, give me a like, give me a comment. Bitcoin, baby! We're having a little bit of like a curry dish, a curry rice dish. It was quite good. And look, would I fly this product over and over and over again? Absolutely. Would I be happy with it? Absolutely. Let's make our way through the Houston airport, and we're actually connecting here, which means we have access to the Polaris Lounge. Now, see if you can tell the difference between this Polaris Lounge and the United Club that we did at the beginning of this video. Polaris, much nicer food, whole dining area. This is all sit-down dining. They're gonna come to your table. Like, look at the quality of that food. The club in London was nice. This just feels like a very premium lounge. I think the Polaris lounges with the dining and everything else, these truly compete with those international brands that have lounges that you want to arrive at the airport early or stay a little bit longer if you can. It was super cool that we were able to experience both on this. You'd have a juxtaposition, one compared to the other on the same exact flight. While the other parts of the lounge were much nicer in Polaris, I thought the bathroom bathroom at the United Club back in London was nicer than the bathroom here in Houston. That's it for the United's Polaris London to Houston flight on the 777-200. If you like the content, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Drop me a comment below. Do you like United Polaris? Are you excited to see the new offerings they have coming out? We appreciate you watching. Have a great week and God bless.